everybody, welcome. It's your girl Angela Kotz with Ghost Hunting Beauties. And today we have a special guest coming on with us. We've got Marshall from Broken Souls Paranormal. Welcome, Marshall.
Hello, ma'am. How are you doing today?
Doing
And
great. And I
the
love
the
you got
name
Southern
does not
manners.
lie. The name does not lie. Hello to the Ghost Hunting Beauties.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We are so honored to have you here today. We actually got to meet each other coming across a live investigation on TikTok. And I tell you, this man here is devoted to the paranormal. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's got some great stories for us today. And he is definitely all about supporting the beautiful women in the world of the paranormal.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is one of the big reasons that Broken Souls is pushing so hard is because so many of the ladies are getting pushed behind by, just absolute nonsense. And I have witnessed some amazing investigators. Like I said, the Women's Initiative right now has TX Vixen. We have Night Song Paranormal. We have the Ghost Hunting Beauties that are going to come up. And I'm absolutely trying my best to bring female teams from all over America and, show them, it is a safe place to be. It is a hobby. It is a profession that you can enjoy and feel comfortable doing it.
For sure. And a lot of times, like I said, you've hit the nail on the head. A lot of times the women ghost hunting teams and paranormal investigators and researchers kind of get pushed aside. It's something that I've learned since being in this business for a couple of years now. I've seen that we're not at the forefront, that we're pushed aside a little bit. And I haven't figured out that code yet, but all I know is I've met some incredible women out there as well
Mhm.
investigating, like the Ghost Sisters, Haunted Heifer, all these incredible, beautiful women who are truly devoted to the world of the paranormal.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I fully agree with you. There's so many people that are just getting just in a straightforward word shafted, not being recognized. So
Right.
it's a shame. It's a shame that that's not happening because the the female will bring so many different aspects to an investigation that a male can't. I mean, they have that comforting tone. They are able to give that motherly love, and you know, I think that we need to focus on these things.
Oh, for sure.
If we're going to bring this science to the next level, then we need to involve everybody. We don't need to make this
Exactly.
just a straightforward thing. We need to
Right.
involve the whole community.
100%. I always feel like that the more people we have involved, the better it can be, the bigger the paranormal community, the more we can learn.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. So you started with Broken Souls. So tell me, what does Broken Souls represent in the world of the paranormal? How did this get started with finding these? Because you have 7 locations, am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I sure do. Matter of fact, the name Broken Souls came at a pretty bad point in my life.
Right.
We started out as blue collar paranormal. We
Mhm.
were one of the fastest rising teams out there. We
Wow.
had built a 7 location empire. Let's say that because I mean we've had people from all over the world. We've had all of the TikTok, the YouTube stars, and everything that come in, and
Oh,
then
that's awesome.
unfortunately, people's journeys seem to separate. And
Right.
new journeys begin. So uh, after that, I uh, I renamed I renamed myself Broken Souls because everyone always wears scars. It's just how well
Right.
we hide them.
Very much.
And
Very
then the
much.
paranormal, it's involved into the paranormal is we have so many people that enjoy watching the lives. They love watching your lives. They love
Me
watching
included, I
mine.
love your lives. That was really cool. I'm so glad you do that, by the way, because letting people in on paranormal investigations is just incredible, especially sitting from your own home. You can feel like you're part of it, and you definitely make people feel like they're part of it.
Oh, it makes I'm ecstatic whenever I get to hear somebody and they come on the live with me and they're so happy and you can tell by their voice and you can tell how big their smile is by the way they're talking. And
Oh, for
it
sure.
absolutely it brings me a little peace every time. So
Oh,
I'm
I love it.
always, and I've got to meet people in Australia. I've people in Texas, people in Oregon, people in Finland, Scotland,
Wow.
Austria.
Worldwide.
Yes, ma'am. Unfortunately, my big mug is seen all over the world.
Oh, no. It's great. It's good to see you. It's really, especially a friendly face because you don't make it so dark and eerie. You make it very lively. That's what drew me to see one of your lives late at night on TikTok. I like to research and understand what other people are doing in the field. And you were out there like you had the all the lights set up and you were getting instant communication. I'm going, dang, they must really like him.
I go into each investigation at a certain level. I go into to communicate. I don't go in to talk down. I don't, I want them to feel comfortable enough with me, just as if you was sitting here with me talking to me right now.
For
That's the
sure.
only way to be. I mean, because they were once with us. They were once
Yeah.
in a physical form. Just because they don't have that physical form anymore doesn't mean that we should respect them any less. And I see a lot of things going on in the paranormal right now that ain't right.
Right.
You
Don't
know,
we all?
yeah, I'm sorry I brought out a little bit of the country on you right there, but
Oh,
it
I
was
love it. No. I'm as country as it comes. I mean, we're down here in Deep East Texas, so it's just the same.
that's all right. I'm gonna have to get down there one day. I heard they got some pretty good steaks. So
Oh, yeah, we definitely have good steaks down here. We've got great haunted history down here too. We've got so much that's been unexplored and so many things that you can explore more than once and come up with something different. We've got Old Town Spring. We've got Huntsville with Demon's Road. I mean, you've got the Lavaca County Jail. You've got all the way to the top of Texas. You've got Strone, Texas. You've got everything out here. I mean,
man,
Texas is so big. The bigger the state, the bigger the ghosts. We got all kinds of stuff.
that sounds like a
So tell
week
me,
long trip to me.
yeah,
I'm gonna
longer
have to
than a
plan a
week.
week to come down there and visit with you all.
Longer than a week. You have to be here a
Oh
while.
well, I guess we'll just have to do it then.
That's right. So tell me about your 7 locations. What locations do you have and where are they located?
All right, we have Woodlawn Estates. It's an 1854 Gothic Victorian mansion that is
Whoa.
absolutely one of the most beautiful girls you have ever seen.
Wow. That's so
When
neat.
you walk into her, man, she is she's like walking into a brown eyed devil, is what it is.
Oh my goodness. That sounds really neat. Now, how did you
Oh,
come across
she's
getting a location like that?
well. What I do is I go in as a representative. I manage the properties. I go to the homeowners, the business locations, the school boards, judge executives. And I take proposals in. I'm saying, here, this community needs help. You know,
Yeah,
I bring you a form of revenue that either people are going to accept or they're not going to accept.
right.
So once you go in, you have to be respectful of the homeowners and everyone involved because
For
they
sure.
are skeptical at first. I mean,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is rightly so. And it's just how you walk them through it.
for
So
sure.
then we have the Augusta Pub.
Oh, neat.
Yes,
Haunted pub.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We have the Bentonville Schoolhouse.
Oh, man.
We have the C.E. Kirker Building.
Oh, wow.
We have the Morgan County Jail.
Oh, the jails are always fun.
I love the jail. I absolutely love the jail. Olive Hill High School.
Oh, man.
Wonderful place. Wonderful place. Uh, Murray Station Homestead and
Neat.
the cabin at Pleasant Ridge.
Wow. So you have like a broad spectrum of haunted places. That's really cool.
Yeah,
So I
I
got
can always say I can go somewhere different each and out of the week.
right.
Never hit the same place twice.
Right. So I got to ask out of all your locations, what's your favorite and why?
Woodlawn Estates.
All
Woodlawn
right.
Estates is. I have a very dear friend of mine that says whenever I take a lady in there, she's jealous because
Oh,
I
no.
did
Got
take a
some
very
paranormal
beautiful woman in
romance.
there, and that immediately started stomping, and it was
Oh
high
my
heel
god.
stomping. It was not a man's boots. It was a lady on a mission that she was upset that I had brought that beautiful woman in there.
Oh, she didn't like that.
No,
She's like,
ma'am.
"No, no." That's really cool. So how did you figure out that this spirit, this entity had a thing for you?
Okay, they'll see this was witnessed on it was on one of my live broadcasts, and I'm sitting there
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
solo in my locations. I go in solo,
Brave man. Brave
and
man.
I was sitting there I went under Estes. I was doing an Estes session, and I had brought someone in from that night. I think I brought someone in from Australia, maybe, and was
Oh.
asking the questions that night because it just makes them so happy to be a part of it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I had noticed that earlier that evening when I was walking down the stairs, I had I had walked into almost a mist or an energy film is what I would call it.
Whoa.
Okay, and when I did, I felt that feeling of being in trouble. Like oh my
Uh-oh.
God, she's catching me doing something.
Oh my
That's the way I
gosh.
felt. And when I went under Estes that night, they were asking the questions, and all of a sudden I felt something rub me right across the lips, and then just push my lips
Oh.
in, and I was like,
What?
I said,
Oh
I
my
believe I
god.
just got kissed by the spirit.
Wow.
And as funny as it sounds,
Oh my gosh.
so I have an admirer at Woodlawn. She's
That's cool. That's really cool. You hear about paranormal romance all the time, but you got to actually experience it. Wow.
well, maybe I'm lucky, maybe I'm
There you
not.
go. Hey, they if they like you, they like you. I'm telling you, I hear stories all the time with spirits that become infatuated, because they no longer have a body to encompass, and so they still have these feelings attached to their energy because 'cause they're still people, or at
Yes,
least I think
ma'am.
they're still people.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
I've
And
heard
I,
different
I,
theories.
I don't believe that the drive of human nature is lost to the physical form being no more. I mean, I
Right.
believe that if you're a minx in life, you're going to be a minx as a spirit. I mean, that's just the way I feel.
Yep. Wow. I wonder if I'll still be ADD in the afterlife, still going from one thing to the other and not keep up
Hey,
with anything.
the way I say it is, I wake up to a tornado and a bottle of hurricane every night.
There you go. There you go. That's why you have such great energy, especially on your lives. That's super cool. So everybody got to see this and experience it live?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. That is super cool. I
I didn't
really like
jump
that.
though. I didn't jump. I uh,
I would be
I
jumping. I'd be
almost
like, "Woo."
I almost took it as a sensual thing. And I say that sparingly.
Right, right. That's really cool though. Like I said, that is,
Well,
for some people, a once in a lifetime or almost never in a lifetime experience.
yeah. Now I do have one weakness. I do have one
Uh-oh.
weakness. I'm not afraid to go in any building. I'm not afraid to go anywhere like that. But
Right.
it's a big joke through the Broken Souls family is the sky puppies,
So what?
bats. I am
Oh, I was like,
terrified
"What?
of
What?"
bats.
Bats, oh,
Yeah.
man. So Batman's
So
not your thing, right?
no, they call me the supernatural Superman. So
There you go. So I'll be the Batman then. I love it. I love it. That's super cool. But have you come across many bats?
I've Woodlawn Estates got me. We had went into the solarium, and I was getting ready to go down into the basement and do the investigation in the basement. It was the first time I'd ever done it. Well, I stand 6 foot, and that basement ain't that tall. So when that bat got at me, I was trying
Oh.
to duck and run. I didn't hit my head that time, so I was good.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that had to be terrifying. Mine
Oh,
is
it
dolls.
was.
Mine is dolls. I'm working through it and I've gotten so much better. I've actually held haunted dolls and I had haunted dolls in my studio, which was huge, huge. So I'm getting past that. So we'll
Oh,
work
I've
on
got
you with
one
that
for you when you
soon.
get up here.
Oh my gosh.
I've
I
got
just
one
saw
for
that.
you.
I just saw the Annabelle replica too, so that was pretty neat. But the chair was her actual chair. So people said, "Don't touch that chair." And man, if they would have told me that day, I would have been like right there, like almost touching the
Oh
chair.
yeah,
You
been
can't
like
tell
that
me
little
no.
kid.
Yeah, that's me. That's I think that's a lot of people had doubts, especially being a female going into the paranormal for us. So,
Hmm.
and since people said I couldn't do it, then I had to. There was just no question.
Well, I mean, I may look brave. I may be, when I'm on the live, or I'm doing an investigation, or I'm giving a tour. Uh, the persona we put forth is how we make people comfortable. But
Right.
whenever I get into an investigation and I'm really I'm hyper focused and my ears are just ringing, trying to hear something,
Right.
and you hear someone run literally at you,
Ooh,
I lose it. I mean, literally,
right.
these places, these locations are no joke. I mean, these
That's
locations
true.
have been documented of apparitions and footsteps and running and whistling. And I mean, I get scared in there.
I can imagine. You're brave. You go by yourself. I'm like, I could never do by myself. It'd be a totally different show if I was by myself. It'd be called Angela Lasts 5 Minutes. That would be, and I'd be running out. The
No,
5 minutes for first thing. So, what was your first paranormal investigation? What was the one that really changed things for you?
my first paranormal investigation was in Gettysburg with Miss Jolene Spooky Riley, and
Oh,
I got to meet Miss Spooky here a couple of
woo.
weeks ago. We had done the Broken Vixens tour up in Gettysburg,
Oh,
and
fun.
we stopped into the Spooky shop, and you know, I don't think she'll mind, but I believe we're going to be doing some work together, so I'm pretty excited.
Wow. There you go.
Yes,
Big
ma'am.
announcement. More stuff
Well,
coming up.
yeah, more stuff coming up. This initiative is opened so many doors for so many different people, and I'm so glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely. I agree. So you got to tell me more about Gettysburg. You always hear that the one place I hear from, even from skeptics that say, I don't believe in the paranormal, everyone I've ever spoken to, and that means everyone, has said Gettysburg has a different vibe and energy.
Yes, Gettysburg is absolutely one of the top bucket list locations. Anybody, if you're in the paranormal, you need to at least step foot on those hallowed grounds. That
Right.
place right there will put the energy to your core.
For sure.
Now we investigated Sachs Bridge. We made up with my bare knuckle brawler. She's the lady that takes care of me whenever I'm on live and everything. And we had
Very
Miss
cool.
Vixen with us up there, and we went to Sachs Bridge. Now Sachs Bridge, if you ever go to Gettysburg, make sure you go to Sachs Bridge and investigate there.
All right. So
Absolute
tell me about
wonderful
Sachs
place.
Bridge.
Sachs Bridge, there were three soldiers that were accused of desertion or being spies.
Oh, wow.
Well, they were hung on the bridge.
Ooh. Oh, my
Yes, ma'am.
goodness.
And that's an unfortunate thing because that's the way that they took as they retreated. So I mean, you can
Oh,
imagine the wounded, the dying, the bleeding. Just the agony and pain,
mm,
and the feel of being defeated.
for
All of
sure.
that energy is still there. I don't believe energy is just wiped out.
True. Very true. I couldn't agree more. So, when you were investigating the Sachs Bridge and Gettysburg, what did you experience? Did you come across any spirits? Did they communicate with you?
Oh yes, ma'am. We had a whole lot of activity. Of course, I say it like this. I mean, you get out what you put in,
Right.
or you get in what you put out.
Mhm.
If you go in there and you're respectful to them, I believe that helps them communicate with you.
For
We were
sure.
able to get, but I have short-term memory, so I wasn't able to remember the names. But we were getting the privates' names, what
Wow.
division they were from. I think one of
That's
them was the Bluebells.
how
I think we
neat.
got Bluebells, and we were able to trace that down. Uh, I can't remember what state, but we were able to actually find that. Uh,
Oh, so you had the research to even back it up. Wow, that's wow.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, that's one thing we do. I mean, there's people all over the world that watch these lives and that are a part of a greater thing than what I am. As you know, I
Right.
want everybody to be happy and be a part of it.
For sure.
So that night, as it was a part of the Women's Initiative. I was watching the two ladies investigate, and you ought to
Mhm.
have seen it. It was an amazing thing. I mean, you could tell there was walking around these ladies like they were admiring them.
Really? You could hear
Yes,
the
ma'am.
footsteps?
They were able to feel the vibration and the cat ball activity as it would walk around
Oh, now that's really neat. And you
them.
love it because cat balls can't be faked. You know, when you've got
No,
them in a
man.
stationary position and you know when those are going off. Do you find using the more simpler tools are better, or is there like a dream device that you really want?
I believe a more simpler investigation is better because there's a lot of people that don't know a lot about the equipment.
Right.
You have SLS cameras, you have flux and all that. I use
Right.
tripwires, I use flashlights, cat balls, REM pods, such as that. Because it's so much fun and they're easy to explain and people can ask questions. I think that's one
Right.
of the biggest things that we need to do as professionals, is people if they are interested, you know, tell them about it, talk to them about it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are closet fans. They love it, but they don't
Right.
want people to know about it.
Right, I've seen that. I've seen that. That's one thing I've actually come across is that, I thought we would get a lot more people against what we were doing, and usually I tell people about, paranormal investigating and what we're doing, and then they actually get excited and tell me about a paranormal experience that they had, even my skeptics, and I'm like, "I think there's a whole slew of closet fans watching all of us on TikTok and us on YouTube." I think they're all kinda sneaking in and watching because 'cause they're curious.
I tell everybody, they may walk up to you and tell you, I don't believe in ghosts or I don't believe in that. And you are right. Everybody has a ghost story. Not
They
everybody
do.
can explain everything.
That's right. I challenge someone who can explain every single paranormal phenomenon. Nobody can. Nobody can. So I always say that you got to be a little bit more open minded. I say stay skeptical because we don't want any of the I don't know how you say the term the pareidolia or whatever to where you're trying to make everything into paranormal because I've come across that too. I go to the logical and then I go to debunking and then if we can't explain it, then I put it into the paranormal pot, so to speak.
Well, the one thing about the way we operate is I let everybody know, I'm not a seer. I'm not a medium. I don't have that ability. And to
Mhm.
those that do have that ability, thank you for using it. I have to go by the equipment. I go by historical fact, you
Right.
know. And one big thing right now that's going around is the term demons.
Right.
You know what? Everything ain't a demon.
That's right.
And I've said this on quite a few other podcasts. We need to be respectful of the paranormal. Like I
100%.
said, this is a pseudoscience that we're practicing. We're
Right.
doing everything that we can to get it to the forefront of this industry. And
100%.
if we're using, these clickbait terms or we're using these avenues of deceit, then, come on guys, where is our truth at? Where is our
Exactly.
paranormal truth and our evidence at?
Exactly. There's so many people out there that's faking it and doing all that. I've told people because the first question I get asked, and I'm sure you get this as well, is it real? That's the first question. Do you get the same question?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And so, what's your answer? I can give you mine, but I'd love to hear yours.
My answer is I'll just tell you the way I tell them. Well, why don't you tell me what you think about it? And then after they tell me what they think, and I explain to them what pareidolia is. I
Right.
let them know that the mind creates things and images in its own scope because of what they hear.
Right.
And this industry being over dramatized by television and things such as that, it's not that way. It's not that way that you're out there getting scratched or you're getting pushed or you're getting, you know, those instances. This is about energy. This is
Right.
about fluctuating energy. This is about residual energy.
That one too.
I mean, I tell them all the time, if you're 30 years in a home and you have the same routine, you walk in the door, you turn right, you take your keys out of your pockets, you put them on the table, you walk around, you open the refrigerator door, get you a drink of sweet tea.
There you go.
Come on back around the house. There you go. It's a constant flow of energy, the way I look at it.
For sure.
So that's the investigative style I like to use. And I guess to address your question is, I tell them I'm not here to make your mind up for you.
There you go. I like that.
I'm here to just explain to you what I believe.
For sure. I think that's a good way to put it. I Because yeah, a lot of people they're, maybe they're curious and that's kind of like what I like to appeal to is people who are curious because I tell them I can't prove or disprove. I can only show you evidence and things that happened to us and I mean, we even had with season 1, people are like, "Can you amp up the ghost hunting?" It's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "I can't make ghosts do anything. They don't listen to me."
No, ma'am. That's one thing that aggravates me. People think it's a dog and pony show. This
Right.
it's not right. I mean, I tell them it's like fishing. It's just on what kind of bait you use and how you wiggle your worm.
Well, see, there I like that. You used fishing analogies. I love to go fishing, and I use a lot of fishing analogies too. There you go. And depends on the, like I said, depends on the weather, depends on your energy, everything
Hmm.
around you. Same thing,
No,
100%.
it
I
is.
get
I mean,
that.
and it's been doing it to enjoy it also. Now,
Oh yeah.
this is my profession. I mean, I run these locations. I'm on social media, uh, all different platforms, different times, different areas. Uh, so this is a passion for me. And to be honest with you, my daughter, my 19-year-old daughter, the Broken Beauty, she
Mhm.
is actually the owner of Broken Souls.
Right. There you go. You are
Yeah.
supporting the women's initiative. That's
Oh, I'm telling
amazing.
you, it's either you walk the walk, talk the talk, or stay on the porch.
There you go. Yep, and she's a smart cookie too.
Hmm.
I've spoken with her. I mean, she's wiser than her years, you can tell for 19. She's super smart.
Yes, ma'am. And I
So
thank you
you
for that. That's a
Oh,
huge compliment.
well, you're welcome. You've done a great job with her. I've got a 19-year-old as well, and a lot of this stuff is she's interested in the paranormal also, but you have to kinda with her, we've had to slowly try to acclimate her because she actually has gifts as well. So
Really?
oh, yes, it's something they say is passed down genetically. It's kinda goes down in our family on a lot of people have had the gift with being a medium but hers is still a little bit muffled, but we'll be on an investigation and she can hear something that we didn't hear and we'll go research and verify and it's nothing we've told her. It's pretty neat.
That fascinates me. I mean, and there again, I believe that the female form brings in so much more to the paranormal and the investigative sides of it that I believe that it would be easier for a spirit, an energy, an entity to speak to a woman because
For sure.
my voice, and I've had people tell me to whisper because my voice is booming, is what they say.
Right.
It fills the room. So I mean, that softer tone, that more lower vibration, which I do believe that is too. Whenever you're speaking and you're communicating, the vibration of the tone of your voice should be able to give them enough energy or draw them through that comfort of that vibration to you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like I say, I feel like bringing in so many different personalities and genders and people from around the world really can spark up that paranormal energy because you're both like you said, everybody is energy. And when you have collective energy that's all very positive, I think that draws in a lot of the really good spirits.
Yes, ma'am. I agree 100%.
Man, so you run 7 locations, which just like blows my mind because, like I said, you are fully devoted. But how do people book with you? Do you book tours and groups? Like, how does that work?
Actually, teams can book their own overnight investigations. They can go to the Blue Collar Paranormal Facebook page, get a hold of Broken Beauty, and well, her name's Paranormal Baby. I'm trying to transition her into Broken Beauty, so
There you go.
but they can message Paranormal Baby, and they can get their bookings anytime they want to.
That's really neat. That's incredible that you open up that many locations because there's so many people who want to get started and they just don't know where to go. They've got a lot of doors being closed in their face, and I can attest to that. I can't count how many doors were closed in our face of that's not haunted. And I go, but it's listed in this book here, and it's been never mind. That's kind of what we
Well,
come across.
that shouldn't be that way. Whenever anybody comes to Broken Souls, we understand that people are just wanting to do something that they enjoy.
Right.
You know, that's our main focus. And I can say right now that I will put every bit of my company and my reputation on this women's initiative.
That's
So if
wonderful.
there is
We
any
appreciate
time
that.
I can help any of you, 10 toes down, knuckled up, I'm ready to help you any way I can.
There you go, ladies. You heard it from Broken Souls. He says start booking with him today. 7 locations. You get your pick of what you want to see and you get a great experience. Like I said, I can personally say just from checking out the live and seeing what you do, like you're the real deal. You're the real deal because
You're
I
making
don't
me
jump in too
blush.
many lives. I'll sneak in sometimes, but I don't jump in too many lives. And I thought, I was like, wow, I could see the spirits in the background coming to talk to you. And I was like, well, if they like him, he must be good people. So,
I try to be, and you're making me blush. I'm sorry. My head just turned a
oh,
little
well,
red.
it's well deserved because we appreciate it. Everybody's got to come together and work together instead of making it more difficult to book places. Now I know some places are more booked than others, but I mean 7 different locations. I mean, I'm already sitting there thinking which one would I want to go to first and bring the girls to. I mean, that's exciting.
Now I do have I do want to plan something pretty big. I want to take 7 teams, 7 locations in
Whoa.
one night.
Whoa, that's a lot.
I'm going to call it the 771 and see if I can do that. And I tell you right
Man.
now, I am going to extend an invitation to the Ghost Hunting Beauties for that
Oh,
event.
well, yay, thank you. That would be
So
exciting.
I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, I'm already like dibs on the mansion.
Dibs on the mansion. Dibs
Right.
on. I tell you what, now that there's a lot of them that's pretty scary, and I'm working on 2 brand new locations. So,
Hey, we survived Yorktown. If anybody can survive Yorktown, that
oh
oh
my
my
gosh,
gosh.
I want to see
Yorktown
that
was a
place.
different be careful. Like I don't discourage anyone from going, but I say whatever you need to do. First, don't go by yourself on that one. Bring some teams. Bring a minister, bring holy water. You bring Jesus, you bring Buddha, you bring whoever's got your back.
That's
You
right.
go right into there with those people.
Just bring a 5 gallon bucket to help me.
There you go. Just start bringing a whole thing of holy water.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's so. What's the most intense location out of all your locations? That one was the most active with communicating with you, but what would you say is the more intense location with activity?
As far as an oppressive feel, as far as something where you feel like, you can just feel the amount of death and, despair, I would say that the basement of the Augusta pub is
Really?
absolutely it's the Augusta pub sits right smack dab in the middle of where Fort Ancient was on the Ohio River. So
Oh, now
even
that's interesting.
even today, even today, whenever they dig in Augusta, Kentucky, they find bones. So I know
Whoa.
that if you were to take the walls away from the basement, you'd be staring somebody's skull right at you.
Ooh. Wow.
So as far as an
That's
oppressive feel, that would be it for me. Now, as far as a well, I was going to say that as a joyous feel or a gleeful, there are
mhm.
certain times at Bentonville School where you can get the child's interaction,
Oh, neat.
and then you get the lady that was brutally murdered in the woods behind the school. She comes through, and
Ooh.
that
So
description
she
is
goes
something
to the
else.
school.
Oh yes, yes, yes. Then you have 136 and 41 right in front of the school. It's one of the most deadly intersections in the state of Ohio. I mean,
Whoa.
I personally had to drag a man out of a car,
Oh my
and
gosh.
yes, ma'am. That was a life changing event for me.
I can imagine. Wow, that's incredible. Thank you for doing that. That is amazing. So that sounds like that place holds a lot of energy there
Hmm.
due to the tumultuous activities happening there.
Yes, ma'am. And I mean, you have Emma. Emma was the little lady that was hit, struck, and killed by a drunk driver when she got off the school
Oh,
bus. So that's a sad story for me.
very
Uh,
much.
I can't that kind of energy. You know, she comes with me. I know I can feel her presence at my other locations. She gets me a little choked up when I talk about her
Oh my goodness.
because I wouldn't want my daughter to be lost. So I kind of
Absolutely.
keep my spiritual hand on her is what I say.
100%. Always should. Always should. That's the same as we are. It's why we haven't fully brought our daughter in yet because we want to make sure that she is trained and that she understands and that she can fully know what she's getting into. Because getting into the paranormal, it sounds fun thanks to TV, but what people don't see is when the cameras aren't rolling. When the
Oh man,
lives aren't going, when the cameras aren't rolling, I can't tell you how much we've had that, like, followed us home. Even
mhm.
after protecting ourselves, that there are still things that are greater and stronger energies than what we have to battle them. So, have you ever had something that followed you home? Like, she follows you from investigation to investigation, but has anything followed you home?
I was asked this question yesterday, as a matter of fact. They
Wow.
said, how do I deal with it? How do I? And the thing about it is I believe me and the good man upstairs has got an agreement. I ain't gonna do nothing I
Mm,
can't get myself out of, and I ain't gonna make him mad at me.
there you go.
So I always, my baby bought me my rosary, my cross, and I wear my cross on every investigation. And I've been asked, well, has it been blessed? I said, yes, it has, and her name's is Shelby, because I know that
Very
little girl is always gonna bring me home.
There you go. That's good. That is a great answer, by the way. I love that. And you can't see because my microphone, but see, I've got San Benito and I've got my cross and I got my birthstone in it, and both have been very thoroughly blessed more than once, just in
Really?
case, for
Well,
sure.
it makes me. I don't go anywhere without it. I wake up and I put my cross on it. Because I mean, it's not only the investigations that we do.
Mhm.
And this is one thing I'm going to bring up. Right now, it's not only the investigations that we do. It's the people that we deal with.
For
It's the
sure.
people that either love you or they hate you.
Mhm.
Okay, and it's I've seen things that border on the line of abuse,
Mhm.
and I've seen things that border on the line of absolutely miraculous.
Mhm.
But we as people, we as professional investigators, we as people that people watch and they listen to us. We need to bring awareness to the fact of harassment
Right?
outside of these things. Physical violence.
Yep.
We need to bring awareness to these things. We need to let everyone know that it's okay. Speak up. If someone's doing this to you, you want to be anonymous about it, get a hold of Broken Souls. I will
There you
back
go.
you 100%. I will bet my company on it.
I appreciate that. That's a very big devotion out there. Especially there's so much that goes on in the paranormal community for people, like we were newbies just a couple of years ago coming into this and we found a lot of really great people and then we found some toxicity too. And we were warned though. Everybody told us that be careful when you step in because you might step in the mud. So kind of watch
Yes,
where you
ma'am.
walk.
And I'm a firm believer in, you know, watch people's eyes, watch people's
For
facial
sure.
movements, watch their body language. If at
Yep.
any point you feel uncomfortable, right then and there, you say something.
That's right.
Don't be
For
afraid.
sure.
Don't ever be afraid. And I'm saying this because of my women's initiative. I'm very, very big on this. There's no reason that a woman should not be able to go into any location and walk in like a boss.
There you go.
That's right. Walk in like a boss. Because I do.
Absolutely. There you go. Especially coming in being a female a lot of times that, some these spirits, especially if they were around, over 100 years ago, their mindsets are different too. A lot of them don't
Mhm.
like women and walking in, especially we've come across angry male spirits that have specifically told us, said, beauties leave. They said that, and we have that recorded where it says beauties leave, clear as day, not even pareidolia, not a whisper. This was beauties leave. And I went, well, okay. I was like, I guess he doesn't like the ladies here in his parlor. But we stood tall. We said, we're still going to be here for a few more minutes. So,
Y'all
got
slammed them high heels down and said, I ain't moving an inch.
exactly,
There you go.
exactly. We
There
we
you
try to be
go.
very respectful of their space, but a lot of times if they tell us all to leave, then nobody'd ever go to any location. We
Oh
never get
yeah,
in anywhere.
I've been told to get out and everything, and I let them know right now, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. You're like, "Imma talk to you first. Imma at least try to have a conversation. Let's talk, and then I'll leave."
Yes.
For sure. So you've heard them say, "Get out." What was a scary moment for you? One that kinda gave you chills down your spine? Because that's sometimes some of the best stories when you get those spine-chilling moments.
It was, matter of fact, it was my daughter's first investigation in Gettysburg at the field hospital right down the street from National Cemetery. And my daughter, she is I believe the good Lord give me her special to be my rock,
Oh,
and I seen that little girl one day, and it was her first investigation, and she's never been afraid of anything. I've never seen her afraid of nothing. I mean, she'd stand up against a raging bull.
wow. Ah, I can hear her. I love it. She's like, "I'm not afraid of
So,
nothing."
uh, but she turned while she was in that field hospital, and I seen true fear in her eyes.
Oh,
And I guess that was one of my scariest moments because I couldn't help her because I couldn't fight it. I couldn't see what she was seeing.
right.
So I guess that was my scariest moment.
That has to be terrifying, especially it's your kid. It don't matter. They can be 5 years old or 50 years old. It don't matter. It's like they're still your kid.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So what did she see? I have to ask because something that scared her, if you don't mind sharing.
She seen a figure standing right in front of her. And I mean to see her eyes go like that, I could still see them
Wow.
because she immediately started crying and it was like
Oh
it
no.
scared her that bad.
I imagine. Was it a shadow figure or something demonic or just a spirit?
She said it was about a 7-foot shadow that had its
Ooh.
hand reaching out towards her.
Now that's terrifying. I don't blame her at all. That would have me freaking out too. I think I saw one of my first shadow figures on the Texas battleship when I was a kid. and that
Really?
was I was 12 years old, and that was pretty terrifying because we thought we were super cool, you know, running away from the tours and playing in the little jail cells. And the next thing you know, one of those cells, you see a dark shadow figure. And the worst thing in the world is if someone is standing next to you and sees it too. Because then you can't say it's just my imagination or you can't say it's just a feeling. Then it's confirmed. When you are confirmed, it's all hell breaks loose and time to run. So we ran screaming up to
Oh
the top
man,
deck.
I am a screamer.
Are
Trust me.
you? Oh my God.
Oh yes, I am. It's 180 pounds of screaming man running.
Oh my gosh. We're going to
Cause
have
I
to
do
check
get
it out
scared.
some more lives just to hear some of that bit. I love it.
You haven't seen it? Oh my
Not yet.
lord.
Not yet. Not yet.
I have a T-shirt that,
Oh my God.
that people, everybody made me. They was like, you got to put that on a T-shirt.
There you
I'm not
go.
going to say it on here because I don't want to have to. You have to bleep anything, but it's pretty funny.
Oh, go ahead. We can edit it
Okay,
or we
okay.
can just say the heck
It's
with it. Go ahead.
it's the "oh fuck what was that" T-shirt.
If
Because
you
I mean,
haven't said that at least once.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I get and it's like I said, when you're hyper focused. I'd say when you ladies get into an investigation, I mean, my mind is like arrow. I'm straightforward. And if
Right.
something happens off out of my peripheral vision, man, it sets me unglued.
Oh my God. That's we've had I think our very first investigation with which of course haunted jails. So I'm gonna have to start asking you
Hmm.
about some of those haunted jail experiences. We had the jail cells that were super old and heavy slamming. And we knew that, I mean, even with the people present, like nobody could be walking off and doing that. We were all in one spot at the same time. And so that was me going, oh God, oh God. Like I just couldn't move. Like they say, you're frozen in terror.
Hmm.
I was frozen in terror because then you start hearing voices. And my husband don't get scared of anything. He just goes, that's interesting. And I'm going, oh my God. They're freaking out, like just
I'm
squinting
hanging
my
out with
eyes.
that dude.
Nothing phases him. I think if something ran at him with red eyes, he'd still stand there and go, okay. It just
Oh yeah,
doesn't
well,
phase him.
not
So
me.
that
I'm
helps.
up the street eating a hot dog, asking him how it's going.
But you go by yourself. That's more terrifying by yourself. Like I couldn't imagine. Like I said, the show would be 5 minutes long and not 45 minutes long if I was by myself because I'd
Oh,
already
I
be
did
gone.
I do overnights at my locations. I think the scariest one I've done is at Woodlawn.
Oh,
Woodlawn's
really?
overnight investigation was really cool because people have the picture of the shadow coming down over my bed, over my little
Oh,
cot. So, and I was outside. I had to step outside
wow.
to take a break.
Oh, God. Good thing you weren't in the cot when it was happening. Oh my God.
Oh man, to see things, to see the equipment light up as you're investigating, and that's amazing.
Yes, for sure. So have you had anybody come in on your lives and see things that you haven't seen like that?
Oh yes, I mean the great thing about social media and these TikTok and these live applications that we're part of, people screenshot.
Oh,
I
that's
have
cool.
seen I have seen children's fingers and faces reach behind a chair and look
Oh,
at people, and the pictures are there. And
wow.
like I said, I can't see. I can't physically see them for some reason. Even though as much belief as I have in them, I do not have that gift. So whenever I see one of these pictures,
Right?
these screenshots, these recordings, I'm amazed that
That's
I
neat.
did not feel that.
Right? Wow. See, I think that's the bonus of what you do is because you let people come into that world and they can capture and see things as if they were there investigating with you. Now that's cool. I love that.
Well, I mean, that's I was saying that earlier. We are these people spend their evenings with us. They plan their days around us.
Oh, I
They
love that.
schedule their times with us. Why not give them the opportunity and the pleasure of doing that? I mean, it's only being courteous. It's being a good human being.
Right. Absolutely, because there's so many people that don't have the resources or the time, or maybe they're scared and they get to actually sit safely in their beds or their living room, and they can walk through an investigation with you. That's really cool.
Oh man, it's amazing. I've met some wonderful people from all over the world, Australia, Spain, Ireland, Scotland, South America, China, everywhere.
That's wow. And who else would have an opportunity like that? Think about, paranormal investigation 20 years ago. Think about 30 years ago before social media. It's like we didn't get to know that so many people were interested in having these experiences.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I think that people are afraid to let people know that they believe in it.
Right.
I think there's a stigma behind it. That, all of a sudden, if you investigate the paranormal, you know, you're you're pouring goat blood on women in the middle of a jail.
Oh
Because
my
I
gosh.
did get that phone call. I did.
Oh my gosh.
I had a judge
Wow.
executive friend of mine call me when I was out of town one day, and he said, "Marshall," he said, "I need to ask you a question." I said, "Okay, go ahead." He said, "We've had a report that you had a woman tied down to the floor of the jail, and you were pouring goat blood on her." And
Wow.
I said, "Jim, where am I going to find the goat blood?"
You're like, really? Where?
I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Wow.
So,
You're like, no, it was sheep's blood. You got it totally wrong. It's
yeah.
incorrect.
But I mean,
Yeah, we get stigmas.
that was more on the like really religious zealot kind of thing. I mean, which I've had to go up against cults.
Right.
I've had to go up against board members. I've had to go up against.
Oh,
But you know what? It's taught me a very professional way of dealing with things.
true.
Because this is a business. I mean, my daughter runs this business, and we run it in respect and for respect. You know, that's all we ask.
100%. Well, that's really interesting you'd say that because we recently had some pushback against what we do as well, and we won't get into details, but it was definitely a from a religious aspect in which I respect and love all religions if people are very respectful with that religion and don't use that to condemn, hurt, or to judge other people. I always say, you walk your walk, I walk my walk, but we were told that what we were doing fell into the realm of or classification of something evil. And I've always thought that communicating with ancestors and people in the afterlife was something that we did as a culture and have kind of lost it in modern times. Like I always thought it was something, how else would you learn? We didn't have a lot of history books back before we had a lot of writings and cave drawings. How else would you learn things? You communed with your ancestors and you kept learning and teaching and passing on traditions and things like that.
Our storytellers.
Yeah,
That's what we called them whenever I was a kid. The storytellers. I mean, the people that know the history of the land around you. They could tell you the superstitions. They could tell you the urban legends. And legends are based in fact.
yep, there's something in there somewhere.
So I mean, every aspect of the paranormal, I am super excited about.
Absolutely, because it's so cool. There's so much that we don't know. I love to learn. So if you're like me, I like to learn and grow from that. So do you feel that honestly something I've asked many people is do you feel that the way television and the media portrays the paranormal gives us an unfair stigma with what we do?
I sure do. What everybody sees nowadays is, the possession,
Right.
the demons, the
Mhm.
dark entity, the pushing. I have been paranormal investigating for almost 14 years. I have had experiences where I've been touched. I have had experiences where
Right.
I believe I've been kissed by a spirit.
Mhm.
I believe that I've seen faces, but the over the overuse of these scare tactics has given each and every one of us a bad name, and it's hard to go into a location.
Right.
I mean, trust me, it takes me days to work up proposals and make sure they have all the paperwork, the insurance paperwork
Right.
before we
Doing it
go
the
in
right
front of
way.
them. Yes, ma'am. I mean, that way that we can show these communities, this is legitimate
For sure.
because
For
people
sure.
love to do this. I mean, there's people that come from all over America, all over the world to these locations.
They do because it's a phenomenon that's been worldwide, culture wide. I mean, there's no line being drawn. Paranormal, like it translates throughout time and throughout space, throughout everything. Like we really have seen in multiple cultures. Every culture has a different afterlife belief. So I love to study that as well. But definitely, I've seen a lot of these ways these shows are. And I'm like, come on. Like, I can't even watch a lot of these shows. And I don't mean like paranormal shows per se. I mean like some of these movies and where it's dialed up to where everything is so crazy. Everything's always flying across the room. It escalates in like 5 minutes versus like 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, I've never seen anything fly across the room at me. Because if I did, I wouldn't be in that house.
Right? You'd be screaming again. You'd have to get that
Oh,
t-shirt
oh
out.
fuck, what was that?
Every time you do a live and you scream, you should have one t-shirt giveaway with a shirt that says that every time. So people
Oh,
keep tuning in and hope that something makes you scream at least once and then they get a free t-shirt. That'd be
oh
great.
man, I'd have to have a truckload of them.
I love it. I
I would.
love it.
But I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy the whole spectrum of it. I enjoy the comedy and the tragedy of every investigation I do because you can make it enjoyable. You don't have to
Oh,
sit there and tell me how you lived. That's one of my favorite questions.
yeah.
Tell me how you lived.
There
Ask,
you
do
go.
you want to dance? Man, I'll sit there and I'll throw my hand out.
Oh,
Let's
I
dance.
love it.
You know, I'll put that tripwire around, man, and waltz me around this room, young lady.
There you go. Now I see why they like you. Now I see why they're trying to kiss on you. They're like, all right, I got a dancing partner. I got everything. You stirring up that paranormal romance. I love it. That's super. I
Well,
bet you they love that energy versus tell me how you died. They want to
oh
know
yeah,
how you lived.
tell me, tell me your favorite perfume. Is that a rose water you're wearing? See if you can bring that through. See if
That's
you can
neat.
make them feel good and feel confident about themselves.
Very cool. I love that. I love that. See, I knew you were good people. I love that. So let me just say we'll start wrapping up here in a minute because this has been great. Like you've really highlighted some of the best parts of the paranormal. It's usually doom and gloom, but you have really illuminated some of the fun stuff. I mean, you're making me want to go ghost hunting right now, and it's been a while, or I say a couple weeks, but that's still too long.
Oh, I mean, yeah, every night I'm
Right.
somewhere.
You are devoted, and we appreciate that. So let me just say, with if someone wanted to get started tomorrow, if they were looking to start investigating the paranormal or to get out there, what are the top three things you could give them for advice?
First off, simpler is better. You don't need to go out here and spend $10,000 or $15,000 in equipment. You don't need to do that. I have custom equipment. I have equipment from different companies. But
Hmm.
my cat balls, my flashlight, my SB7,
There you
and a
go.
REM pod, and you're talking about you can have fun for days.
Oh yeah.
Number two, I would say don't ever lose your smile because once
Oh,
it stops making you smile, then it's not fun anymore.
that's very true.
And
Very.
number three would be probably my most involve your family. Don't hide
There
it.
you go.
Let people know that this is your passion. Because one day when you see the evidence that changes your mind, don't be afraid to tell people.
Absolutely. A lot of people are really ashamed of it, but hopefully, like I said, the things that you do and things that I do, that I hope more people can see it and they're not so ashamed of it, taking the some of the spookiness out of it, but having fun, the excitement, a little bit of joy.
Yes, ma'am. I can't wait to meet you, ladies.
I know. You've got so many locations. Like I said, I already called dibs on one, so we have to arrange for
Whenever
that.
you
We'll wait
guys
till the
come
weather gets
up,
a little
you
cooler.
will have a ball. I promise you.
I'm gonna
Because
hold
I
you
think
to that.
it's one, two, three, four. Four of my locations are within 36 miles of each other.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. Well, that is incredible. So let's put the word out there for everybody. Where can they find you one more time and how can they book with you so they can start, finding you, booking those locations, but leave one day open for us, but other times, let's
You
say,
ladies
come
come
on
up,
in.
we'll make sure you're ready. Well, you can
Right.
get on the Blue Collar Paranormal Facebook page. You can get on the Broken Souls TikTok page and direct message us there. You can hit us up Facebook. You can go to my Facebook, Marshall Wallace. I just now got it, so I'm figuring it out. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So
that's all right.
I'm an older soul, so but yeah, I mean, just reach out and we'll do our best to make sure and accommodate everybody that we can.
That is incredible. Well, we appreciate all the stories, the advice, and especially you devoting your time to 7 locations and devoting yourself to the women's initiative in the ghost hunting world. That's been very much appreciated on this side. So you are doing a fantastic job, sir.
And one thing, well, before you kick me off here, I'm just going.
Nah, nah.
I'm gonna put out a challenge. If you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk, y'all. If you say you're gonna
Yeah,
help these ladies, put your money where your mouth is.
there you
Show
go.
these ladies the respect that they deserve.
100%. We appreciate that, Marshall. Well, thank you. From the Broken Souls Paranormal and from here at the Ghost Hunting Beauties, you heard where you can book with this gentleman here. You heard that, like I said, 7 locations, so you get your pick there. So book in advance because I know this man's going to be booking up after this. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss our next episode. So, from Angela here at Ghost Hunting Beauties, keep it spooky.